Ladies and gentlemen, the Las Vegas Raiders begin training camp for the first time in the 2023 season. Jimmy Garoppolo was asked about his health status. He got a little real. And Davante Adams was asked about working with this new quarterback, and what he had to say was quite interesting. And we have numerous reports breaking down who was there and how practice actually went. Davante Adams was one of the first people to speak after practice today, and it was a little different tone from the guy. He was a little more curt, a little more serious. Previously, last year, we saw him be a little loose with the media, joking around, but I think he's adapting to the sort of Patriots West style where he's just sort of saying what he has to say, the bare minimum. But what was revealing is what he said when he was asked about Jimmy Garoppolo. Keep in mind, this is the first time they've been able to work together. This is the first time he's been able to catch passes on the field from Jimmy G because of his injury problem. And one key thing he says is the fact that he's been trying to coach him up and give him feedback.
Great guy, easy to talk to, super coachable, from the coaches to him and listening to my feedback and the way that I view the game too. So today was very productive, a lot of conversation out there, and we just got to stay on that, continue with it to get to where we want to be.
And it seems like Davante Adams is trying to manage Jimmy Garoppolo, let him know the way things need to go. He's been in McDaniel's system a little longer. He's a more accomplished player at his individual position than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Impressed you most about Jimmy in this short time you've worked with him?
Well, today was our only day on the field, obviously, so I just say his openness and eagerness to learn, and whether that means from me or to learn the scheme.
And even Jimmy talked about how working with Adams is a little different than working with other wide receivers.
Most receivers just tell you the route they want and they run the route. He was kind of talking the talk, and I was like, okay, like this guy's seeing what I'm seeing. Throw it early rather than later, just little things like that, and it's pretty cool, man. So we got a long way to go, me and him, but we're off to a good start.
So hopefully Garoppolo, in order for the Raiders to have a great season this year, can take Josh McDaniels' feedback and Davante Adams' feedback as well. Speaking of wide receiver, the Raiders restructured Jakobi Meyers' contract. They freed up some cap space here in order to have the Marcus Peters signing go down. So this is a good move for the Raiders. Jakobi Meyers was set to make $11 million a year. You're converting some of that to a bonus, which means Meyers will likely be on the Raiders for his entire contract for this year, 2024, and 2025. And Josh Jacobs is going to continue to be a big story, especially now that he's the outlier. He's different than Saquon Barkley. He's the only one holding out right now. Barkley is back at practice. He got a $2 million bonus from the Giants, and Jacobs is not at practice. He's missing training camp, and it looks like he's going to hold out. Max Crosby said that he actually was at Jacobs' house. He claims he wasn't sent by anybody, but he was trying to convince this guy to play for the Raiders this year, and it seems like Josh Jacobs is not going to budge. It seems like he's going to be the only running back sitting out for training camp, which is crazy that the Raiders have this problem. Another issue again between Josh McDaniels and a particular player, but the Raiders are going to try to move on, and they have these running backs that could be serviceable if Jacobs is not going to go. If Jacobs is going to decide to miss the entire year, pull Le'Veon Bell, or maybe he's going to try to just show up, collect $10 million, not really be integrated in the game plan, not take too many hits. Or the latter could happen where the Raiders rescind the tag and end up releasing the guy. We'll see if that goes down by September. Amir Abdullah was getting all the first team reps, and then you had Zamir White getting some reps right behind him. When you're looking at, how the Raiders run their offense and, what the running back position does in Josh McDaniels' system, it's very clear that if Jacobs is not going to be there, it's going to be the Zamir White show, Amir Abdullah as the pass catching back. And all eyes are on Jimmy Garoppolo. He's been the main issue for the Raiders this offseason. Is he going to be ready to go? Well, we got an update on that, and he was sitting here, saying hi to fans, signing autographs. You love to see that. People are very excited to, see that the Raiders actually have a quarterback who's employed that's not a fourth-round pick or Brian Hoyer. So you had Jimmy G there saying what's up to the fans, which is good to see. And like I said before, I was not sold on Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm damn sure not sold on Genius Josh McDaniels, but look, I'm going to give this guy a shot. I'm going to give Genius Josh a shot. I'm going to see what they can do this year. And if this is what he thinks the plan is, and is going going to work out. If this is what genius Josh McDaniels thinks will work out this year, then this is all on him. We'll see how this Jimmy G situation goes. But if it flounders, if that ship sinks, it's going to be all on Josh McDaniels being the captain of that ship, solely responsible. And so far, things are okay. The Raiders have revamped their quarterback room. They released Chase Garbers. And so now when you take a look at it with no Garbers, no Jarrett Stidham, no Derek Carr, it's a brand new complete quarterback room. The first time since 1999 that has been the case. Jimmy Garoppolo, Brian Hoyer, and Aiden O'Connell warming up, playing pitch and catch right before practice. If Jimmy G is not ready to go, I think it's pretty obvious that it's tank season with Brian Hoyer there and a 4th round pick. Look, I want to believe in Aiden O'Connell. I want to believe he's going to be a sleeper late round pick. But in my opinion, if you go late in the draft, you go late for a reason. If you really were special, you'd be taken higher. And Jimmy Garoppolo was obviously asked about his health. How could he not be asked about his health? And he gave a response talking about the rehab process, but he let something interesting slip.
Never really a worry. We had a good plan here. The strength staff, training staff, really tip my hat to those guys. They did a great job just getting me back and getting me where I need to be. And I'm not fully there yet, but working in the right direction.
So he said we had a good plan here, talking about rehab. I'm not there yet, but working in the right direction. He's not there yet, but working in the right direction. Now, this sort of contradicts in some ways what Josh McDaniels said just a few days ago when he said that Jimmy Garoppolo will have no restrictions on his foot.
No, there aren't. We'll do what we always do with players that are coming off of any type of rehabilitation is we'll do it the right way. So it might not be, 100% of the repetitions, first day and, et cetera, but we would never do that with anybody.
At the same time, he did say that we'd be working in Jimmy Garoppolo in slowly, just like we would for any player at any position. But at the same time, if there's really no restrictions, why do you got to work the guy in slowly? We need to get these reps going between him and Davante Adams. We need to build chemistry now while the rest of the league has already been building chemistry since early June in minicamp. So Garoppolo is saying he's not there yet. He's going to be able to practice during all of training camp. He's going to be able to play in the scrimmage coming up against the Niners and then against the Rams. I believe he will be able to participate. It's because these quarterbacks have a red non-contact jersey, so he'll likely be able to be okay, be able to be on his feet for all of training camp. At the same time, he's saying that he's not there yet, and it is a tough task to be able to rehab from that surgery in the spring and be ready to go as a football player, especially given the fact that it's on your foot. You're standing on that all the time. It could separate, the bones could separate. So the real task for him is not taking hits throughout practice, but can he keep it together, moving around in the pocket and putting pressure on that foot? Will he be able to stay okay? And this was the first day of camp. They did not do any 11-on-11 drills, which is what we really want to see, where they're actually running plays against the defense. It gets really competitive. But this first day of camp, according to The Athletic, appeared to be quite sloppy. A little sloppy, which seems like it makes sense for the first day, but I think given the fact that Garoppolo missed OTAs, missed minicamp, just makes it that much more difficult for everybody to be on the same page. But what makes it disappointing is you didn't see any real highlights, and that's what we want to see. We want to see this week somebody make a badass catch over a defender, or perhaps hearing that a certain quarterback, hopefully the starting quarterback, goes 100% on all his throws. I would love to hear some optimistic stories. Hopefully we get some soon. So 11-on-11 practice is right around the corner. The season is starting today. It's really happening. Look, guys, I'm not going to spam you with notifications. I'll drop a video when we actually have something going down. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you do not miss the next video. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.